Namaste. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what it is to maintain a witness stance when we are purging lot of our karmic baggage, or when we are purging a lot of our past. How does this affect us if we do not maintain a witness stance? And how do we maintain a witness stance? And how does that help to purify our pranic energy? We all are aware that the spiritual path is a transformatory path. Here we are changing. The lower aspects within us are getting removed away, and we can feel these as various mental and physical symptoms when the process is trying to remove away the resistance within you, the constriction within you, which causes the sense of being separate from the universe. When our vibrational state is low, we think that we are this limited body and mind, and hence we get trapped within this falsity that we are just this body and mind, and the physical reality is the only reality. But once our vibrational level starts rising, we realize that we have higher states where this resistance or this constriction of our ego is getting lost. We are opening up, and we are opening up, our vibration level is rising, so our consciousness level is rising. That is when you realize that you are even present at the level of a higher conscious state. You are present at various levels of conscious state. It is just that your vibration has devolved so much in the physical body that you have got disconnected from your higher self or from your individual consciousness. So, what is this individual consciousness and how is it different from the universal consciousness? If you think of the universal consciousness as a big ocean, then a drop of it is the individual consciousness. That is, the consciousness has separated from the universal consciousness, and now because it is separate, it thinks it is separate. And from there, it gets further devolved. Its vibrational state falls down. It falls down to the level where the physical level comes into manifestation. That is, the Kundalini is sleeping at the level of the Muladhara chakra. As long as Kundalini is sleeping at the level of the Muladhara chakra, your consciousness is trapped at that level. But when we awaken, we understand that we are caught up in the cycles of life and death. This can happen because you have reached a level in soul maturation. Maybe you received initiation from a physical or an astral guru. Maybe your spirit guides are visiting you. Or you could have visited some place which has started the spiritual awakening process within you. Once the awakening starts, the many repressed aspects within you, the many latent aspects within you, everything is coming out. You realize you exist at many levels. But to raise up your consciousness, first you need to clear away your karmic baggage. You understand that you are trapped in the cycles of life and death because you start recalling your past lives. You understand that. You know that you are an old soul, and now you need to ascend. So here your journey upwards starts. That is, the limited I is getting dissolved as the vibrational level is increasing to merge with the universal consciousness. As we rise up in vibration, we are losing density, and this density is our ego, which is expressed by us in various forms: our anger, our pain, our desires, our memories. Whatever we think that constitutes this limited I, it is all just the ego structure. So the ego structure is getting dissolved little by little, like how sugar dissolves in water. In the same way, the ego structure is getting dissolved little by little over a period of time when your vibrational level is rising. And then we realize we are not just there at one level, we exist at a higher level also. At the level of the Buddhi chakra, we exist as the higher self. We exist as the universal knowledge. Here we understand that we have been guiding ourselves from this higher point. Our inner voice that calls out to us when we do something wrong, it is coming from your Buddhi chakra. It is trying to guide you so that you will not fall into more ego traps and get caught up in the cycles of life and death. But for that to speak within you, your soul should have matured to certain level. Later on in the process, you realize that you are the individual consciousness. By that time, the energy is working in the upper cortical region of your brain and in and around your heart region. The heart on the right side, this is where your individual consciousness resides. There is a knot here. In fact, there are many knots around the heart which the Kundalini tries to pierce, to break open so that the energetic flow can move around the heart and brain connect. So when the knot here on the right hand side is pierced, the energy flows into the right side. That is when you realize that you are present there as individual consciousness. You are always there and you are watching over this limited I, this physical aspect of you playing out on earth. You are sitting there and watching as a witness. You never interfered when this limited I was going through troubles. You never identified with those sufferings or those desires of the limited I. Rather, you were just content sitting here and watching over the limited I, which was experiencing pain or pleasure in its earthly manifestation. So, here, as an individual consciousness, you are in the witness state. By the time your energy opens up all the knots in this area, and when the energy flows uninterruptedly towards the right side, and the individual consciousness within you is realized, the flow or the state of enlightenment becomes permanent. Now you will not fall back into Maya or the matrix. You have realized yourself. There is a story in the Upanishads which is depicted in the picture here. You see two birds on two different branches. The bird on the lower branch is the limited I, the physical manifestation of the soul. And the limited I is busy eating the fruit of life. It is very externally focused. It is getting disturbed by pain. It is getting attracted to pleasure. So it is wavering constantly. And it is living within this ego shell. So vibration is less. But on the higher branch, you see another bird. This bird is not different from the lower bird. It is the same bird. It is the higher aspect of this bird, which is like the individual consciousness, which is watching over you. So, you, as the individual consciousness in the witness state, you are seeing how you are physically incarnating and how you are experiencing pain or pleasure in your earthly life. But sitting at that higher vantage point, you don't get involved with the physical life of your lower aspect. When we are maintaining a witness stand in a spiritual awakening process, and when our vibration level is rising upwards, the bird that is there, which represents our individual consciousness, that is in a witness mode. So, when you are in a witness mode, you are actually aligning yourself with your individual consciousness. You are moving in sync with your individual consciousness. The more you maintain the witness stand when you're purging, in a spiritual evolution process, lot of your past things come out to be resolved. Your pain, your trauma, your shame, your guilt, your desires, your biggest disasters, things which you could not accept, things which you thought you wanted, your personal worth, how you perceive the world, your ideas, your thoughts, your imaginations, the way our personality is designed, everything is being sent out of your system. And when this is being purged out, you again re-experience those moments. If you re-experience those moments and you go with the flow, you are again reinforcing this idea which you are supposed to leave. For example, you have a major fight with somebody who shamed you. You could not forgive that person. It has affected you a lot. When the purging happens in a spiritual awakening process, this memory surfaces. It comes out. It is coming out so that it can be dealt with and released from your system. Here, you're supposed to maintain a witness stand. Instead of doing that, if we go with the personal story your mind is telling you, the mind is again reconstructing that memory for you. If you understand that this memory is part of my subconscious mind and that is getting released, let it go. Let it transform into maybe a lesson. Let it transform into a blessing. You can transform the lower energy within you into something higher when you allow it to flow through you. But when there is resistance, we are again identifying with the story. We are again identifying as the victim. We think we are the sufferer. You are again reinforcing the idea, and that idea is again in your psychic system. It is not getting released from your body. So when we see ourselves as the lower bird, the bird which is there on the lower branch, being the active participant in life, and we are again thinking that we are active participants even in our imagination, we are caught up on the lower branch. To move away from the lower branch, to release all this unwanted emotional and karmic baggage, we need to take the stance of the higher branch bird. Witness what is coming out. What does it mean to witness? I'll talk about it a little later in this video. When you are maintaining that witness stance, you are aligning yourself with your individual consciousness, which is maintaining a witness stance through all your incarnations on earth or elsewhere. You are in touch with your inner higher wisdom, which is very close to the universal consciousness. You are just one step away from the universal consciousness when you are at the level of the bird, which is on the higher branch. To understand how we are rising in vibration, first we need to understand how we come down to lower vibration. The energy, it descends from the Sahasrara chakra down into our body. That is the Shakti that is starting to manifest various universes, various worlds, because she wants to play the game of life. We all are just different expressions of Shakti who have forgotten that we are Shakti. So when the energy descends down, at the level of the Sahasrara chakra, it is consciousness. When it descends down to this level, a little above the Buddhi chakra level, it separates into mind and prana. The same energy, same consciousness, it divides into mind and prana. Then the pranic energy descends down further to the stomach region, the Manipura chakra region. And there it separates as prana and apana. When it separates as prana and apana, it is creating your pranic sheath. At the higher level, when it's separated as mind and prana, it was creating your mind sheath and intellect sheath. These are the various sheaths that we are living in. So the outermost you see here is the Annamaya Kosha, which is a physical sheath. Inside it is the pranic sheath. This is where many vayus or pranic movements happen. The various movements, energy movements you feel in your body, they happen at this level. Then comes Manomaya Kosha, which is your mind. Vijnanamaya Kosha is your higher intellect, wisdom, knowledge. And then comes Anandamaya Kosha, which is your bliss sheath. Here you are going into bliss states, and inside that is your individual consciousness. So this is the constitution of your various sheaths. Now you can see here that when the consciousness is descending at the level of this level here, it is getting divided into mind and prana. When I say mind, it is the Manomaya Kosha, the third sheath you see here, and the fourth sheath, which is Vijnanamaya Kosha. Your mind and higher intellect are getting formed at this region. And the Vijnanamaya Kosha is the universal mind. So at this level, you exist as the universal mind. And when the pranic energy descends further, when it is coming down, it is creating various chakras in your body. These chakras here, which you see, start getting manifested as the energy is losing its vibration, which is descending and moving into the earth plane, the third dimension. The pranic energy, once it reaches this Manipura chakra region, the stomach region, it divides further into prana and apana. When it is dividing into prana and apana, it is creating the pranamaya kosha or the pranic sheath. So the prana, it moves upwards and apana moves downwards. So now the upward and lower movement in your body has got created. And why do you need this upward and lower movement? So that you can breathe. For example, your abdomen, if you notice when you're breathing, it moves upwards and downwards. Upwards when you are releasing your breath, and downwards when you're inhaling breath. So this upward and downward movement, it happens because of the movement of prana and apana. As long as this upward and downward movement is happening in your body, you are alive. Once we stop breathing, this upward and downward movement stops in our body, and then we are no longer able to live in this physical body. So the movement of prana and apana is what creates the ability for you to sustain Earth's life, and this happens at the level of the pranic sheath. Then when apana is moving downwards and prana is moving upwards, then Kundalini comes and sleeps in the Muladhara chakra. When she sleeps in the Muladhara chakra, your physical sheath is ready. So now you have these various sheaths, and now you are able to function on earth. This is how your body mind get created. At a higher level, this is just energy. So the consciousness at a higher level, it transforms into a physical body when the vibration level is low. Please understand that. So when this energy loses density, vibration level increases, you move away from the physical body to the level of the consciousness. That is the return journey. And that is what happens in a spiritual awakening process. Generally, this happens when our soul has reached a level of maturity where it has learned its earth lessons, the karma is worked through, or when the guru comes into your life, the guru initiates you, because for the upward journey, you need guru's initiation. That is why a guru's role is crucial when we want to undertake a spiritual or a Kundalini awakening process in our life. And Guru does not mean that it is a physical presence. We even have astral gurus. Many a times we receive initiation from astral gurus or deities, gods, goddesses, certain divine entities. They initiate us in our dreams, or when we visit certain places, certain shrines, we get initiated. And we are not aware of it, but the spiritual awakening process, it starts in our body. When it starts, we gradually lose interest in external life. We start disidentifying with lot of the roles, responsibilities, labels we have taken on. We even disidentify with our emotions, thoughts. And this is the phase where we are purging, when lot of repressed content is coming up to be processed. We get attracted to spiritual topics. We understand the importance of deep healing. We are at this point experiencing lot of Kundalini related symptoms. And when this is happening, you have to understand that change is also happening within your body. The various elements in your body, The elements are part of our chakra system. The root chakra is the earth element. The sacral chakra is the water element. Solar plexus is the fire element. Heart is the air element. And throat is the space element. When we are undergoing these changes, we have to understand that at the elemental level of also our constitution is changing. When the vibrational level is changing our inner constitution, symptoms increase. We start purging away old things. We get triggered easily. We attract certain situations into our life, certain people into our life who are there to teach us valuable life lessons. It feels like we are guided by a higher power on the spiritual path. Here, the most difficult aspect, especially when we are dealing with the emotional stuff, is to disidentify from the emotional stuff, to disidentify from the thoughts. That's the most challenging task that we have to face when we are clearing away the emotional and thought bodies. So, the spiritual journey is just returning to source. Your vibration level is rising. So you will experience upward pranic movements in your body. It can be through the spine or it can be through the body. If it is a Kundalini awakening, it will happen through the spine. And if it is a top down awakening, you will feel it very strongly moving through your body. When we have a Kundalini awakening process, the energy is moving through the spine and it is not very prominent. It is a subtle energy that is moving through the spine. But when it is a top down awakening energy, you will feel it more flowing through your body. But generally, somebody who has a Kundalini awakening will also have a top down awakening most of the times. So, because of that, they will experience both. So, you may be experiencing either the top down awakening or you could be experiencing both the Kundalini and the top down awakening process. When the energy is ascending upwards in your body, your consciousness is rising, your awareness is rising, because now you're operating from the higher aspects within you. Anything lower vibration within you is getting transformed into something higher within you. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed. So, all anger can get converted to forgiveness. All resentment can get converted to acceptance. All fear can get converted to faith or gratitude. So here you are becoming an alchemist, a magician who's transforming everything that is lower into something higher within you. And this changes the inner alchemy of your body. So when we are going upwards, the opposite of the downward movement process will happen. That is, you saw at the stomach level that prana and apana, they separated. Prana went upwards and apana went downwards. But now when we are ascending up the spine, the prana will move downwards and apana will move upwards. They both will merge like this. When they both merge like this, the pranic energy will rise through the spine. It will go up into the head, where at that place the prana will merge with the mind. Once the prana merges with the mind, it turns into consciousness. So, what is happening here is that your prana is getting purified. As our vibration level is increasing, as our ego is getting dissolved, the pranic energy or the chi within us is getting purified. And that purified energy is flowing upwards. And as it is flowing upwards, it is getting more purified. At last, it turns into the consciousness. So, mind and prana merge and they become the consciousness. This is where we experience samadhi states. So, what is the prana trying to purify? It is trying to purify all the false constructs you think you are. Normally, a person is trying to be something in life. He wants to be a father, or he wants to be a boss, or I want to be maybe a friend, or maybe I want to be good. I do an act, I think of something because I identify as being something. So each one of us, if we notice our motive to do something, to think something, to behave in a particular way, to emote a particular thing, it is trying to make us something. Or because we think we are something, we are doing it. Because I think I'm good, I'm helping others around me. Because I want to be that person who does not care, I will not help anybody. So at every point, we are trying to be something. This keeps us in a lower vibration. And all this need to be something or trying to be something, it gets reflected in our thoughts, in our emotions. When we are caught up in our past, we are trying to be a good wife or a bad uh, neighbor or a good teacher or a bad person or a good person. We are trying to be something. When we were trying to be something, we are creating a false construct. And from that false construct comes the many stories we tell ourselves. We think we exist in the past because we have experienced the timeline in a linear way. We don't understand that there are many present moments that are life. So we are really not living life here. We are either caught up in our resentments, in our anger, so we're living in the past, or we are worried, we have fears, so we're living in the future. Living in the past and living in the future, we are in a way disconnected from the life. And we are living within this false construct where our memories rule us, our emotions rule us. We have a lot of stories to tell. In some stories we are the victim, in some stories we are the rescuer, in some stories we are the perpetrator. We have many reactions. We react with anger, with fear, with shock, with dismay. We react through judgments or criticism, and we are reacting to others when they are trying to criticize us or judge us. So at the lower level, the emotions are ruling us. And once you clear away the emotional body, the thoughts will be the next level that you need to work with. Here it is your active imagination, the many thoughts that clutter your mind. And during the spiritual evolution process, you will notice that at one phase, you have a racing mind. Lot of thoughts keep on coming. You have no control over it. It feels like you're overwhelmed with all those thoughts, unnecessary thoughts. So this is all part of the process. A natural path is to raise your vibration, and you cannot raise your vibration when all these things are there in your subconscious mind. All this has to be purged. When you purge away everything, you realize you're nothing. Then you are not trying to be something. And when you're not trying to be something, you are not caught up in your past, you don't care about the future. You are just nothing. You are just the container through which the life force can flow. There is no resistance within you. That is what happens at the end of the process. All the unnecessary things are removed from your system. Your psychic system is free. It can channel higher energy. And now you are able to connect with your individual consciousness. At the first level, we work with the physical aspect of ourselves, that is, the identities we create for ourselves. We move away from many dysfunctional ideas, beliefs, patterns which are there in the family. Uh, we are no longer interested in status, money, all these things. They are still there in our life, but our focus is not on those things. We understand we exist beyond that also. Next comes the emotional level, where I think this is the most challenging thing for anybody to skim through. So a lot of this heavy baggage in the form of emotions has to be dealt with. And this is where a lot of purging is happening. That is, a lot of that stuff is, it keeps on resurfacing in your mind. Past memories come, you start crying again, or past fears come up and you cry or you get angry. So here, when that memory comes up, there is an emotion attached with that memory. So the moment the memory comes up, the emotion also gets triggered within us. And now we identify with the story more. When we are identifying more with that story, we are creating, more heaviness in it, and that heaviness, it will keep it in our system. We are not allowing it to get released from our system and get transformed into something higher. We are holding on to it. We are holding on to it because it gives us our sense of identity. People need a sense of identity. When we hold on to our stories, our emotions, our thoughts, what we think we are, it gives us an identity. A sense of security is there linked to identity. To let go away your identity is like to let go away a sense of security. You have to now move into the uncomfortable zone, which is difficult because you don't know what lies there. You need to push your boundaries to go beyond these stories, and many cannot do it. So they're more comfort oriented when they are trying to again relive that stuff that is coming up to be purged. They want to again put it back into their psychic system so that it gives them that security, that false sense of fortress. And the stories and the emotions that surround these stories, the drama is kept alive all the life. But in a spiritual awakening process, you have to let go all these things. Now all these things are coming to the surface to be released, and you have to allow them to go. Once you have worked with your emotional uh, issues, next comes the mental issues. Here it is more of the thoughts. This is much easier to deal with. I said that as the prana is rising upwards, it is getting purified. So the prana at the lower level, when we are identified with this physical body, it is tied up with lot of the physical aspects within us, where we think we are this body and mind. So the prana is working at that region. When we let go this idea, prana and apana merge, the prana is rising upwards. At the higher level, we are now identifying with the various emotions, the mind contents. At that level, when you release all that from your system, the prana is getting further purified. And then it goes up. It turns into pure consciousness. When this transition happened within me, it did not happen suddenly. It was like the energy was moving through the body, and once it came to this region, it was moving beyond that region. I could feel that part of me was merging into something bigger than me. And I could see the transformation like sparkles inside my third eye. Like my pranic energy was turning into something which was like uh, expressing itself as sparkles in my third eye. I understood that some kind of a change was happening in my body. The pranic energy was moving upwards. Before Kundalini Shakti can come to this point, first the Kundalini Prana rises up. Kundalini Prana is the pranic energy of Kundalini. You can feel it as vayus or movements in your system. So first that comes out from this region. This is the Brahmarandra. Put 5 fingers and this spot, this is your Brahmarandra. So if it is a Kundalini awakening, the energy will come out from this region. And then again it will re-enter into the head at this point. It will go inside here and it is going down into the body. And again at the Muladhara chakra, it is turning upwards, it is rising up through the spine, coming out of here and going inside here. So this way the pranic energy is recycling the various contents in your body. When it is moving up, it is bringing out all the unnecessary baggage. It is bringing out all the psychic material. At this level, it is recycling it and it is entering the this area inside. It is going into the head and down into the body through the front part of the body as recycled energy. And when this energy is getting recycled, your prana is getting more purified, you can easily rise up to higher states of consciousness. All your old memories get wiped away. All your samskaras, vasanas, that is your mental tendencies, all get wiped away. Impressions get wiped away. Now you're no longer that person. You don't identify with your previous life. It is like somebody else's life for you. You're not that person. Now my name is Shailaja, right? But now I don't identify with my previous life. I'm not that same person anymore because this pranic recycling has happened so much in my life, in my body, that the lower aspects within me are just wiped away. That is what this energy does to you. And once that happens, you are beyond the suffering of a human life. You have risen above it. Now your inner alchemy has changed to the extent that it can support this new level uh, existence which you have acquired. In a top down awakening, you will feel this energy moving through your body and coming out from here. That is, if you put two fingers here from the starting of your hairline, the energy will come out from here. It will go out like that and it will move around your body, and again it will re-enter your body at the base of your spine, and it will go around like that. And when you are receiving pranic initiations or in a top-down awakening, that initiation entry point, though the initiation happens at the level of the Vishuddha chakra, you will feel the pranic energy descending upon you, the top-down energy, but it is entering from this region here into the body. So this is the entry port here. Here also, in a top-down awakening also, this energy is recycling through your body. In this type of awakening also, you will move away from your past. The memories are gone. That pain, that suffering, those desires are gone. You're transformed into a universal being. And once the knot that is there on the right side to your heart is released, you become an permanently enlightened being. But for this to happen effectively, you should be able to maintain a witness stance when the material or content within you is coming out to be purged. And especially when you're dealing with the emotional body, it is very difficult to be grounded when you have these raging emotions running through your system. And in a spiritual awakening process, our emotions, they're magnified because of the hormonal fluctuations that are happening in our body. Our body is changing a lot in one lifetime. So a lot of hormonal fluctuations are happening within us. When we are undergoing a lot of these hormonal fluctuations, it is difficult to stay grounded in these severe emotional release states. We get caught up with the flow, we get angry, but at some point we have to remind ourselves that we are releasing this baggage from us, so we need to step back. When we step back and allow this release, we are working along with that energy. There is no resistance within us, because of which our spiritual progress will be faster. When we resist the upward flow of energy because we are identified with those stories, with those emotions, we are in a way resisting the flow, upward flow. So once we step back, we understand that we step back, we provide the space for the upward flow to happen within us. We don't resist it. You are aligning yourself with this energy that is purifying your prana. So a witness state is a state where when something surfaces from your past, you are not, accepting the idea, or you are not rejecting the idea. You are not loving one idea and you are not hating another idea. You are in that middle zone, that balanced state where you are accepting things with equanimity, good and bad. You understand that it happened because those lessons were needed by you when you were in the physical incarnation at a lower level vibration. But now you don't need it. This karmic baggage, it has served its purpose, because now You have reached soul maturation. All those lessons, you have learned them. Now you need to transform this energy into something higher. And that can only happen when you facilitate upward movement of this energy when it is happening in your body. So this is a state where you're not participating or reliving those moments. You're not reliving those emotions again. You're not trying to explain the situation or judge the situation. Rather, you become that space which is allowing this to happen. You become that awareness, that field of consciousness in which these things are arising. When you're becoming that, you are becoming like that bird which is sitting on the higher branch, because your individual consciousness, if you think of that as Shiva, Shiva is that field on which Shakti can play. So your individual consciousness is Shiva, and all the different manifestations of that one consciousness into this physical dimension are various forms of Shakti. If you look at it that way, when you become that field of experience, when you hold space for experiences, you are moving away from being Shakti to being Shiva. That is, you're not this limited physical being who has had these experiences. Rather, you're the individual consciousness, and the individual consciousness is the witness state. It is the state that provides the space, it is the field of experience. So, all experiences unfold in this field of consciousness, which is your individual consciousness. And here you need to maintain objectivity. That is, you have to understand that this is part of the process, and when you are allowing it to happen, you are growing spiritually. Your prana is getting purified. The resistance that you experience within you in the form of anger, shame, fear, all that is just the ego. It is not you. It is the falsity within you which does not want to see the truth, whereas the truth within you wants to provide the space. So here, if you can shift your identity from being the experiencer to being a witness, you are more connected to your individual consciousness, you are more in flow with the life force, and you are more connected to your inner authenticity or truth. So a witness state, initially it is difficult, but as you progress in the spiritual path, you understand how important it is to maintain a witness stance. And once your energy has reached this level, you can do it very easily. It comes naturally to you, because by the time your energy has come to this level, it has ascended to this point, the dense structure of ego has got dissolved to some extent. Because it has got dissolved to some extent, now you can allow the all the debris within you, all the dead nigrido within you, all this dead energy within you, you can just release it, and you can see it flow out of your system. As you do this, and when you reach the higher states of consciousness, you will experience a kind of transformation within you where you start entering bliss states. So once I was experiencing the mind and prana within me merging and converting into consciousness. When it started happening within me, no matter what was happening outside, no matter my mind was working through certain distasteful emotions or situations, it was trying to process it. I was, lost in my own bliss, a kind of a very happy bliss state which is experienced in deep sleep. That was the kind of state I was in. And I never cared about the purging which was happening in the body. So, at a higher states, what is happening is you move into bliss states. When you are in these bliss states, the purging automatically happens, and you don't identify at all with the purging, because here you are more aligned with your individual consciousness than with the physical aspect of you. So here it is a movement away from the lower vibrational state to the higher vibrational state. When we understand this process and when we work along with the process, we are just becoming whole. Thank you.